After 3 weeks of winding roads and desert skies and tagine feasts throughout Morocco, we're back on board Santana, ready to shift from land legs back to sea legs. Hey, I'm Nika, and this is Flo, and these are our salty furballs, Boga and Django. The next chapter of our sailing journey is a big one, a 480 nautical passage from Rabat in Morocco down to the Canary Islands, our longest offshore passage together so far. But before we can raise the sails and head down south, there's one not so minor issue that we need to tackle. And it involves two very stubborn through-hull valves that don't want to do their job any longer. And in true White Spot Pirates manner, we're not going to haul out the boat, but we're going to change the fittings where the boat is sitting, which is in the water. That means somebody has to dive down and plug the through-hulls from the outside so we can swap the fittings on the inside. In winter in Morocco, so it might get cold. Flo has the new valves freshly shipped in from Germany, and in this episode we're going to walk you through the entire process of swapping those valves. Plus we're going to discuss different options for through-hull valves and explain why we went with the probably less popular version. So let's dive right in, literally. So which one of these do you want me to take?
Well, I'm not so sure. It could be this one or this one. I remember I was holding to the hole while cleaning the hull, so I think it was something like this.
Something like this? Okay.
So try these.
Alright, good. Luckily I get to do this job, but the good thing is he's getting the really shitty job later on. So I'm just getting this, actually I'm just getting this semi-shitty job.
Yeah.
Not very warm. If not freezing cold. I don't want to put it in too hard because I'm afraid we're not gonna. So this one's sticking out about this much. Because the other one was hard to get in. I don't know if you want me to put the bigger one in. And it sticks further out. This one is pretty snug. It's like that much in. Do we have extras in case this gets lost? It's in, but because of the growth, it's not sealing completely. You want me to shove it in all the way, or wiggle it a little bit, or make it snug as a bug in a rug?
Are you getting it out again?
Yeah, it's sticking out that much.
Yeah, then just twist it a bit. So I am changing the valves to these kind of valves, and I have no idea how you call them in English. So they just open a different way, and my hope is that they won't clog as easy. The other one, they have a ball on the inside, and the ball can get dirty, and it's possible that some of the dirt moves with the ball. And I think that's what happened, because all three valves clogged over the last 5 years, and it always happened on the dry when they were standing on the land. And I think there was some debris inside of the ball. Then it was turned open, then the debris dried up, and then it got completely clogged. It was impossible to close again, and while closing, the handle connection to the ball somehow got loose. And my hope with these is that you can just unscrew these, take it out, and just either clean it or just replace this. And there are absolutely no rubber seals, there's no iron, no other metal inside, and that's why I hope that these might last a little longer, and if not, are much easier to replace than the ball valves. These valves, they can also clog up, at least that's what I read, because there's a thread on the inside that can clog up either from this side or from the other, and then this doesn't turn anymore, and you're unable to, well, move the slider on the inside. But if the thread is clogged or broken, then the whole valve either doesn't close or doesn't open anymore. And my hope is that when you remove this, then you can just replace this whole section, including the new thread, into the old bearing housing, and you do not need to remove the entire plumbing again.
And speaking of removing the plumbing, that's exactly what's up next. I just came to check here and there's a bunch of water in the boat. My favorite situation. How's it going?
I don't know yet. I hope this stops. I hope it's from the plumbing and not from the Seacock.
How long has this been running?
A while.
Good news?
I hope so.
There is quite a bit of water coming in still, so we're not sure if that little plug is actually still in place. So I guess I have to double check. Still it. Now the moment of truth, or the moment of splash. The worst that could happen is that the through hull actually gets loose, but there is a travel lift. So, do you need a hand? That's dodgy. Ah! Did you get to move it? There it is. It's not too bad. Did you see the bottom of the marina?
Yes.
How did you like that sensation?
Not at all.
There's one thing we forgot to look up, which is to see whether Loctite actually works if it gets wet. But
More about that?
more about that in a couple of weeks, probably. The magical moment! The magical moment of no more water coming into the boat. At least for now. Are you anxious?
Yes.
Why is that? It's just a little hole in your boat. Don't break it.
Holy moly. I don't want to do that every day.
I thought you were going to say, I don't want to do that again, because I was going to say you have to do that again with the other one. So what's your rating on the scale? 1 to 10, how tricky was this? 10 being super tricky.
Yeah, once the toilet was removed, the head was removed, it got much easier.
If you don't want to be in this position for long, then choose a number now.
It's a bit nerve-wracking, not that tricky.
Yeah, I'm talking about tricky. Nerve-wracking scale is going to come up.
Yeah, tricky, maybe it's a 4.
Yeah, I would say 5. Okay, nerve-wracking, 1 to 10?
6.
6?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't want to see you at a 9 or 10.
No, you do not.
Sounds so much better when there's no more water coming in. Okay, I'm going to leave you to this. When it comes to through-hull valves, most voices will probably tell you go with the ball valve style. They're very easy and quick to operate, and you can directly spot if the valve is actually open or closed. Plus, they're very durable, especially if you go for the bronze or stainless version, and we totally get it. They're most likely the safer option in a marine environment. But here's the thing. 3 of the 7 ball valves that had been installed on Santana, and they weren't very old, have already failed. One of them was already replaced in 2021, and 2 Additional ones need replacement now. Ball valves are 4 times as expensive as other alternatives, and with a limited budget, Flo's made a call. He decided to replace them with good old gate valves made from brass because we couldn't get hold of the bronze version. Yes, they're less corrosion resistant, but in case something happens, they're easy to swap out and they're a lot cheaper to replace. And on top of that, Flo is very committed to inspect them regularly and keeping an eye on them, making sure that we're safe and sound. And as soon as we get a chance to get hold of the bronze version, we'll swap them to gate valves made from bronze. We're at the second construction site now. These are the cockpit drains. And at least this seems to be the easier of the 2 projects. But then one says that and things happen, so you didn't hear it from me.
Okay, ich brauche eine Hand.
Wofür?
Zum Zuhalten hier.
Meanwhile, Django is completely chill. So.
The old valve came up to here, and now there's about 3 centimeters missing for this to be threaded in. Now I'm pulling down a bit, pulling down the tube a bit. That should be enough. This is important because this is under the water line. Mm-hmm. This is way above the water line, so this is just for the water to drain. But here you always have the pressure from the outside. So here it's super important that it's tight enough. And I think it's working now.
Nice. The swap was successful, and honestly, it went a lot smoother than we had anticipated. Well, maybe except the part where Flo had to take apart the plumbing of the toilet. I think that part earned some creative curse words. But overall, we're super happy we got the job done before we head out to sea. It's one less thing to worry about, and it's another thing that makes Santana feel ready for the next stretch. So are brass gate valves the perfect solution? Probably not in the long run, but out here, each decision is a balance of cost, availability, practicality, and the trust in yourself that you're able to stay on top of maintenance. And I would say they're definitely the safer option than going to sea with 2 broken ball valves. And we'd love to know what would you have done in our position. We're super curious what other people in the sailing community think about this. For now, it's time to hit the souk and soleil one more time and stock up with fruit and vegetable before we slip the lines. 480 nautical miles lie ahead of us, and we can't wait to take you along. But more about that next time.